video number 2. What you want to also ask is if we can pass out birthday flyers at the end of the presentation, and hopefully we can get some advertisements and get some bookings for parties too. All right, then you can get started on with the presentation, and you enter the classroom and say, "Hey, I'm Sherry with the great out." No, sorry, gotta say the right name of the thing. I'm Sherry with the. I can't think of what it is. Okay, I'm Sherry with the Outback Learning Safari, and it's so good to be here with you guys. I love to go to kids' schools and talk to kids about the great outdoors and all the cool animals that live out there. Do you guys like going on adventures? I do. Last week, I was out in my backyard and I grabbed a magnifying glass and I was out there and I was looking down low. Ooh, I saw some cool bugs. Do you guys like bugs and inky worms? Yeah, I saw some of those. And then I pulled out my binoculars. I was looking up high. Oh, I saw some owls. Yeah, and some birds. It was so much fun. I love going out back and looking for things. Well, sometimes I find animal prints back there. Have you guys ever seen animal prints in your backyard? I saw some. Let me show you what ones I saw. Here they are. Do you guys know what kind of animals made these animal tracks? Yeah. No, I don't think it was a dinosaur. I've never seen dinosaurs in my backyard. Ooh, do you think it was a lion? I hope not. That would scare me. Yeah, this one here, it is a bird. I think it's like a rooster or a chicken. It looks like that to me. These down here are funny. They're not monkey prints though. They're possum prints. Have you guys ever seen a possum? Possums are kind of gray animals and they kind of have long naked tails, kind of like a rat tail. But they're really funny because what they'll do is they see you coming, they lay down on their back and just pretend like they're dead. Now it's kind of funny that they do that, but they know no one wants to play with the dead animals. So what they do is when they lay down dead, they wait for you to look and see, and then you walk away, and then they get up and they walk away too. Keeps them safe. They're kind of funny little critters. But anyways, so I was out back looking for some animal prints, and I saw another one. I pulled out my handy dandy tracking journal. Yeah, and I drew it to show you what it was. I'm going to show you. Look at this. Do you guys know what kind of animal made that track? What do you think? Yeah, I pulled out my tracking journal and animal tracks, and I looked to see if I could figure out which one it was. You know what? Oh my goodness. I think it was a bear. Ooh, do you think it was a bear in my backyard? Let me look again. Oh, no, nope. There's big claws on top of a bear's paw print. So it wasn't a bear. So, guys, it was my puppy dog. I do have a puppy. He's a cute little dog, and he goes in the backyard all the time. Do you know what else I have in my backyard? I have some animal cats. And of course, they're animal cats. They're cats. I have some cats in my backyard. They're stray cats. They don't have a home, so they just kind of wander back there. Now, these cats are so cute. They have like these little, they're all black. They got little white paws and a little white tip on the tail. Well, the other day I went back there to try to play with it, kind of pet it a little bit, and I realized when I got up close, it wasn't a cat at all. Do you know what it was? Yeah, it was a skunk. Now, can you tell the difference between a skunk and a cat? I can because skunks have little white stripes down its back. There's white and black stripes going down the back. Now, a lot of times we have animals with stripes on them to tell us to be cautious and warned. You know, bumblebees have stripes on them, and they're like, "Whoa, stop! Take a minute to see if you're safe. Maybe walk away." Yeah, bumblebees. And there's some snakes with some stripes on them, and they're there to let us know don't go close. But skunks here also have a stripe, and that's a good warning to say beware. So when you see a skunk, what they do is they want to be safe. So they don't turn over and pretend like they're dead, like a possum. What they do is they will start stomping their feet like this. They stomp their feet, see if it scares you, and then they'll raise their tail really tall to make themselves look bigger. See if that scares you away. And if it doesn't, they will turn, psh, squirt you. And I usually have the squirt gun right here, and I squirt the kids. Just like that. They'll squirt you. Ooh, do you smell that? Oh my goodness. Oh, that is terrible. What is that smell? You guys, is that your shoes? Oh my goodness. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really smell anything. But if you did smell a skunk, skunk smells worse than the worst stinky feet you've ever smelled before. It's really bad. And it's really hard to get off of you because the skunk squirts out something called musk. And musk has kind of like an oily texture. So if it lands on your skin or on your fur, if you were an animal, it's hard to wash off. Just like butter, if you get butter on your fingers, it's kind of greasy and kind of hard to wash off your fingers. But musk, since it's so hard to get off, it keeps that smell on there and it lingers forever. So animals don't want to smell like stinky skunks. So what they'll do is they'll kind of flee away. Now, do you think a little cute little skunk like this with his stinky smell could scare off a bear? Yeah, guess what? He can. Do you know why? Because a skunk doesn't just squirt his spray. What he does is he can actually aim it, and he can aim 10 feet away and actually shoot a bear right in his eyes. And that scares a bear because if you get squirted by a skunk, it doesn't hurt you. If it lands on your skin, it doesn't hurt at all. But the one place it does hurt is if it hits you in the eye. Have you ever been squirted by a squirt gun at a pool and it gets right into your eye? It kind of stings your eyes for a little bit, huh? Well, the thing is with this, because it's got that oil texture, and when it hits the eye, it actually really stings and hurts. So a bear will not want to come close to a skunk because that skunk can actually squirt and spray and hit him 10 feet away, right smack in the middle of the eyes. They're pretty clever, huh? Yeah, so that's a skunk. Now, there's another animal out there in the woods, and they're not really scared of skunks. Do you know why? Because they don't have good sniffers. So they don't care if something smells stinky. In fact, they might look at a little skunk and say, yum dinner, because they like eating cute little fuzzy things. But you know what that animal is? It's an owl. Yeah, I brought my owl with me today. Now, owls are super cool. They don't have a very good sense of smell, but what they do have is a very good sense of hearing. Now, an owl can actually hear little critters under the ground. Do you know how animals kind of burrow holes under the ground? He can actually hear if there's an animal up under the ground. Now, listen close. Can you hear this? It's really hard to hear. But you know what? An owl could hear that because that's like a little critter underground, and he can hear that. Now, it's kind of cool about an owl because they actually can hear things two different ways. Like for us, if I start talking, or you guys start talking, I can hear what you say with both ears at the same time. I hear what you're saying. But an owl, he has one ear. Now, before I tell you this, see these right here? These look like ears, don't they? But guess what? They're not. These are called ear tufts, and it's just a feather display. They're not really ears on top of his head. It looks like it, but they're not really there because his ears are actually right here behind his eyes. He has a little hole back here and a little hole back here right behind his eyes. But one side is a little bit higher than the other. The other one's down a little bit lower. And an owl, he will hear from one side to the other side. So if I brought out my little bird, I've got a little bird here, and if he was over here, what happens is this bird were to chirp like this, guess what? This owl would hear the bird chirping here, and then he would hear it in this ear over here. So he knows that there's a bird over here. And in order for him to find his prey, that's the food he wants to eat, what he does is he turns his head until he hears the bird chirping sound in both ears at the same time. So if the bird's right here, he's chirping, the owl will turn his head until he hears that bird in both ears at the same time, and then he knows the bird is right in front of him. Kind of cool, huh? Yeah. And also, not only are the ears is here from side to side, but see, one's a little bit higher and the other one a little lower because if that bird is up high, then he tips his head up a little bit. And if it's right in front of him and up a little bit, he knows it's right there. Or he'll tip his head down a little bit and know exactly where it's located. So, in order to be able to see where his prey is, this owl has to be able to turn his head all different directions. Now, an owl's eyes are different than ours because our eyes, we can look all over the place, right? We can move our eyes up and down. Now, everybody, you guys keep your eyes straight ahead. In fact, hold your face like this. Okay, so don't move your face. And I want you to go look and see if you can see the wall over on the side over there. So look over this way. You see it? Keep your face straight. Now look over the other side. Can you see the wall over there? Look up. Can you see the ceiling? And down and see the floor? See, we can see the ceiling and the floor and both walls without moving our head at all. But see, an owl, his eye sockets are kind of like glued in the back of his head. He can't move his eyes at all. side to side, they're stuck in one spot. So in order for him to see side to side, he's got to turn his head one way and then the other way. Not only can he turn his head from side to side, but he can also turn his head upside down. Now, that's about as far as I can turn my head, just to my shoulders. Can you guys turn yours further than that? Oh, I can't get it around any further. But an owl can actually turn his head almost all the way around upside down. I'm going to show you a couple pictures. Look at this. See this owl right here? His head is completely backwards. See here, here's his little claws down here. So here's his back wings. Yep, there's his back, and his head is completely backwards. How crazy is that? All right, now this owl right here, his head is upside down. It's really hard to see, but if you look real close, you can see this is his beak is up here. So if I turn this actually around, see, that's his head right side up. But his head is actually upside down. So an owl can turn his head completely behind him, and he can also turn it completely upside down. Pretty cool, huh? Now, owls are really kind of cool, and they like to eat cute little fuzzy things. In fact, I've got something here that they like to eat. Let me see if I can find it. It is a little tiny mouse. Let me see right here. Well, I can't find my little mouse. Oh, there he is. Okay. Owls like to eat little things like this, cute little fuzzy things. Now, the funny thing about an owl is he doesn't like to chew. What he does is he actually, if you find something this small, he'll actually swallow it whole. Now, can we eat our food whole? No. In fact, the doctors say that we need to chew 20 times before we swallow. Did you know that? 20 whole times. Because our stomachs cannot digest whole food at the same time. If we swallow something big, what happens? It gets stuck right here in our throat and then we choke. So we want to make sure we chew, chew, chew really good until it's nice and smooth going all the way down. Now, an owl, his stomach is different than ours because there's two parts to his stomach. When he swallows this little mouse, what happens is all the good nutrients go down to one part of the stomach, and that kind of disperses out through the body. So the owl is healthy. Now, all the stuff that's not so good, the owl really doesn't want to swallow, that goes to the other part of the stomach. And that's like the fur and the bones, all that kind of stuff. Once it gets to the other side of the stomach, what it does is it starts turning it all up, round and round and round, and then it makes an owl pellet. I've got a real live owl pellet here. And so we're going to pass this around in a little bit, but it's kind of hard. Looks like kind of like a fur ball. Have you guys ever seen your cat spit up a fur ball? You guys know how cats they kind of lick themselves and clean their fur to give themselves a bath. And then what happens to all that fur once it gets down into their stomach? Kind of all gets all mubbled up together and he spits out looks like a fur ball. Well, that's kind of what this looks like. It's an owl pellet. It looks like a fur ball, but if you break open these little fur balls, it's really cool because you can see what he had for dinner. Now, I opened up a fur ball and I put it in this little magnifying glass container. So you guys can actually look and see what he had for dinner. If you look really close in there, there's these cute little tiny bones and you can actually see little tiny teeth and jawbones in there. So look really close, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to pass two of these around. And while you guys are passing those around to all your friends to look at, I've got some gummy worms. Now, owls don't like to eat worms. They only like cute little fuzzy things. But I want to see if you guys can eat these worms, but I don't want you to swallow them whole. What I want you to do is see if you can chew 20 times and see if you can not swallow until you chew 20 times. Okay, so let's try to do that. All right, so now the class is all looking at the owl pellets and chewing their worms, and they're just having a good time. That'll take a couple minutes. All right, when they come back, we're going to talk about the owls again and share a little song. So, you guys, I have a fun song to sing with my owls, but I need a couple helpers. Does anybody want to help me? I'm looking for somebody sitting straight and tall. Oh, how about you? Okay, you come on up here and hold my daddy owl, okay? All right, there's a little piece of wood in there. You put your hand up in there and you can hold on to that. There you go. Good job. All right. Now, can anybody come up and be my mommy owl? Yeah. Okay. How about you? Great. All right. Come on up. You hold my mommy owl. There's my mommy owl. Great. All right. And then I've got a baby owl. Anyone come up and hold my baby owl? Yeah. That's great. Okay. You come on up and hold my baby owl. That's great. All right. Now, you guys, what do owls say? They say, Now, when you do this part of the presentation, you can have them say, what does a daddy owl say? Hoo, 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 and go real deep, or a mommy owl, hoo, hoo, really high, and a baby owl. You can have them change their voices if you want, or you can just have them sing hoo, hoo, the whole time. Because I'm not that great of a singer, and the more entertaining it is, the better it is. I think sometimes because if you can't sing on tune, you might as well change it up so it's like singing off tune on purpose. So, anyways, you can change up that. I like to do a little snap while I'm singing the song, and you just kind of want to go through the words. So what we're going to do is we're going to say there's some owls and they're hoo-hooing, okay? And then they see a mouse. Now a mouse, you know what it has to do when an owl sees it? It has to run real fast, and that's called scurrying. So we're going to run real fast like this. Now I want you guys to stand up. I want you to try to run real fast. Scurry with me. But I don't want you to run around the classroom, okay? Just stand in one spot. Scurry, okay? And then they're going to scurry real fast and make it safe at last. So you're going to go, whew, safe at last. Okay? So here's our song. It goes like this. All right, it goes like this. It goes, I'm thinking, sorry, I just went blank. Okay, it goes. Baby owl, hoo, 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 hoo. Baby owl, hoo, 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 hoo. Mama owl, hoo, 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 hoo. Mama owl, hoo, 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 hoo. Daddy owl, hoo, 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 hoo. Daddy owl, hoo, 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 hoo. See a mouse, ooh, 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 ooh. See a mouse, ooh, 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 ooh. Scurry fast, ooh, 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 ooh. Scurry fast, ooh, 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 ooh. Safe at last, woo-hoo. Safe at last. Good job. All right, so you can do it like that, or you can do this. Baby owl, hoo, 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 hoo. Or mommy owl, hoo, 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 hoo. Or daddy owl, hoo, 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 hoo. Okay, so you make it up however you want to do that song. All right, so that's already, we share our song, and then we tell them all about another animal. Now, there's another animal in the woods, and they are kind of fun to see. They look like this. Oh, you guys know what that is? It's a porcupine. Yeah. Now, porcupines kind of look cute. But you know what? They're not so cute where you want to hug them, huh? Because porcupines have long, prickly um, quills on them. Now this one's really cute, and he looks kind of soft, and it kind of makes you want to hug it. But if you saw a real porcupine in real life, would you want to hug that porcupine? No, you don't want to hug the porcupine. So the thing is with porcupines is they don't have a stinky squirter. Nope, they don't. And they don't play possum, roll over dead like this. What they do to protect themselves is they use their quills. So a porcupine, just like the skunk, is he will be walking around, and if he sees you, what he does is he'll start stomping his foot like this, like this. See if it scares you. And as he's doing that, he shakes and get his quills all to stand up and out, just like this one here, right? And that hopefully will scare off the critter that's coming after him. But if it doesn't scare him off, guess what happens? Well, he gets them with his quills. I have a couple quills here. Let me show you guys. Here's a quill right here. I've got a bunch of them. Quills are kind of like straws. They're just hollow tubes, but on each end they're kind of pointy. So if you look at this one here, it's just kind of like a hollow tube. Let me see, can you see that there? It's just kind of like a hollow tube, but it's a pointy end, and if it were to get you, ow! See, it actually can prick you. The whole thing doesn't go into your skin, just a tiny little bit on the end, just enough to say ouch to keep you away. But what happens is these quills are just like kind of hairs on an animal. So do you have a dog or a cat that sheds? I have a little dog, but he's not a shedding type. But some dogs and cats shed all their fur. And so what happens with porcupines is their little quills will begin to shed. And as they're falling off, they get kind of loose hanging on to the porcupine. And so what happens is they're all in there and they're kind of a little bit loose. And if an animal comes up to a porcupine and it doesn't get scared by it shaking and stomping its feet, this little porcupine will turn real fast and kind of maybe knock him with the tail, hit something with the tail, and all those quills that are loose on him because they're shedding will stick into whatever they run up against. So a porcupine doesn't see something go and start shooting quills out to keep themselves safe. Nope. The only reason why a porcupine has quills that actually get into other animals is actually because he will use his tail to kind of sweep up and hit something and then all the little quills will go into whatever is nearby. And they hurt. And they hurt enough to say, don't come near me again. So that's a porcupine. Now, I have a porcupine book to share with you guys. Now, the thing is about porcupines is they look kind of cute, but do you really want to hug them? And this says, how do you hug a porcupine? So I'm going to read my book, and I want you guys to repeat after me. Not repeat after me, but when we get to the part that says, how do you hug a porcupine? I want you to try to say that part with me, okay? Because that's all throughout the whole book, all right? All right, and then I'll read my porcupine book. And what happens is your time should pretty much be coming close to an end. You might have about 15 minutes left after that porcupine book. And I always tell the kids that by the end of the book, it says very carefully, and I always tell them, really, if you see a porcupine in real life, you don't want to really hug it carefully. You really want to take a couple steps away from him. But you know what? Today, when you leave today, I'll let you hug my porcupine, okay? And then as they're all leaving, I kind of go up with each of them and I kind of give them a little nuzzle on the neck and let them kind of hug it. So you're welcome to do that. If you find you have extra time, I have a couple pictures of some snakes, and I'll go back to actually go over the presentation a couple times, see how long it takes you. So we usually have a half hour to an hour or 45 minutes to do a presentation. When you're at the 45-minute presentation, you may have about 15 minutes left to talk to the kids. Sometimes they start talking a little bit more throughout the presentation, and you're done after talking about the porcupines. If it looks like you have extra time, I go back and say, no, there's another animal out there. And guess what? He's kind of like the owl in that he likes to swallow his food whole. Anybody know what it is? And I'll show them it's a snake. And I've got this picture of the snake. It's kind of a cute little picture of a snake. Snakes will swallow their food whole. And what happens, it kind of goes through their whole body. See, look at this right here. See how that little egg is going through his body. But the thing about a snake is they may not be very safe. So you want to keep your eyes out. When you're outside on adventures, we want you to be very careful. And so sometimes snakes can be poisonous and sometimes they're not. But there's one snake around our area in North Carolina that is very common, and he is called the copperhead. That's this snake right here. I just want to show you guys the snake because if you see a snake like this when you're outside on an adventure looking for prints or something like that, you'll know what he looks like. Because this snake right here, he is poisonous if he bites you. But you know what? Snakes usually are timid and they don't want to come up and bite you. What happens is a snake will listen. If they hear you, they usually slither away. But a lot of times snakes will be out and about and they're kind of sunbathing. And when they're sunbathing, out there and you're walking along on a trail or whatever, you might come up and step on it. And then that's when they think that something's after them and they may try to bite. So a lot of times they're out sunbathing, not caring about anything in the world. And all of a sudden, here you are and you stepped on them and then they're trying to protect themselves. So snakes aren't out looking for you to try to bite you. But these snakes right here, copperheads, you have to be careful because they're camouflage. Can you guys see this picture right here? Look at this. This is a picture of a copperhead in a bunch of leaves. It's really hard to see them, huh? Because this snake is camouflage. And just how other animals all have different ways to protect themselves. A skunk has its spray to protect itself. Porcupines have their quills to protect themselves. And possums pretend like they're dead to protect themselves. Well, snakes were created a lot of times to look camouflaged, which means they blend into their surroundings. So if you were to go up to a bunch of leaves, you almost don't see him there because his color and matches and he blends right in. And that's how they protect themselves. A lot of times they will get into where you can't see them. So anyways, I just want you to be careful. We want you guys to go on adventures, get outside, put down those video games and have a good time outside. But we want you to be safe, okay? So if you see snakes, be careful, step away, all right? If you see porcupines, be careful, step away. And skunks, step away. But if you see puppy dogs, they're okay to be near. All right, and kitty cats are. Okay, but we hope that you guys have a great time exploring. All right, that's the end of my training presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to call me, okay? And if you run out of things to talk about, sometimes at the end, if you find you still have time left, to talk to the kids. You can just talk about different kinds of animals they like seeing in the backyards, or if they could see an animal, what would it be? So you can kind of just improvise and take up the rest of the time with just various questions to the kids. Okay? Thanks so much for watching this, and I hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you later. Not really. See you later, or call you later. Bye.